I was insulted. I was insulted.
I only said one.
All right, so do I need this?
Don't think that clock is right.
All right, seeing how it's 5:30. Before I open this meeting, if you have a cell phone,
I forgot my
on silent,
Can't even make
and please note that this meeting is
phone in.
recorded. With that said, I'd like to open up this public meeting of the Woburn Conservation Commission. It is November 6, 2025. And just to announce that there are no public hearings. So, first on the agenda, under file requests, we have 288 MISH RD LLC, 288 Mishawam Road, DEP number 348-0856 for a certificate of compliance. I believe there was a site walk. I did not make it, so if somebody would like to speak on the site walk.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty satisfied with everything out there, with the exception of one catch basin that was clogged with leaves. I don't know if there's anybody, is there anybody here? I went out there today for lunch. I actually parked in the parking lot, and the leaves were, I spoke to, I believe, the director or the assistant director, and she wasn't aware that there was leaves covering the catch basin. Supposedly the maintenance crew is going to be out there tomorrow to take care of that issue. That was the only real issue I had, but I don't want it to be a continuing issue.
Not enough to maybe uphold the...
I don't think so, but I go over there all the time, so I'm going to continue to check it and make sure at least through the fall.
Okay, any other discussion, comments on the certificate of compliance?
I agree with Commissioner Lonis that it looked good otherwise, and
Yeah, I was out there earlier, and I thought it looked pretty good, too.
big improvement to that lot.
So with that, I would recommend that we issue the order of, the certificate of compliance.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion. We issue the certificate of compliance for 288 Mishawam, DEP 348856.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
The paper again.
Next on the agenda is Presidential Ventures LLC, locus is Presidential Way, notice of intent 348-0818, the issuance of a certificate of compliance. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we issue the certificate of compliance as the certificate. The certification will be an invalid order of condition, is hereby certified that the work regulated by the above referenced order of conditions never commenced. The order of conditions has lapsed and is therefore no longer valid. No future work subject to regulations under the Wetlands Protection Act may commence without filing a new notice of intent and receiving a new order of conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Sure. I didn't see it on the agenda. Probably.
Thank you.
All right, we do have a C under file request that came in a little earlier. We have a request from Goddard Consulting LLC. The locus is 216 New Boston and 225 Merrimack. They had submitted a notice of intent and they have requested that it be withdrawn. The DP number is 348-849.
Mr. Chairman, I would grant the petitioner's leave to withdraw request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Along with that, the same DEP number 348-849, they are now asking us to issue a certificate of compliance. My suggestion is, before we act on that, maybe we do a site walk.
Mr. Chairman, since they've withdrawn the order of conditions, the order is no longer valid. So I would suggest in issuing a certificate of compliance, it be done as an invalid order of conditions, similar to what just happened for the expired order.
Okay.
So I don't know if that changes your thoughts on the site
Nope,
visit.
it does. Well, yeah, it does. I don't think we need to do a site walk.
Chairman, I would move that we issue a certificate of compliance as was the last one, and as an invalid order of conditions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, moving on. Item 3, business items. First on that list is the community gardens, and I would like to announce that under business items, this is not a public hearing. Therefore, there is, at this time, no new public information input. And reason for that would be, we have a written list of 21 concerns from a gardener and gardeners, and the commission has read it thoroughly and has taken it under consideration, and you'll hear discussion tonight about it. I would like to start off by saying that some of the issues have been addressed in the end of the review that was submitted by the coordinator. The coordinator has done a great job and has my full support, and hopefully the commission's full support. It is with the end of the 2025 season to provide an update for the gardens. I also would like to state, and I just found this out, that we have rules and regulations that carry over from year to year. But at the beginning of each growing season, there are general rules and regulations. And these rules get changed, and my recommendation to the coordinator would be to incorporate some of the concerns that the gardeners have into the 2006 rules and regulations. So with that stated, I open up this for discussion with the commission. I'll start by saying there was one concern, and it had to do with the road and parking. That is a real issue, because as you go into the garden, the road, the right side is a resource area, and any work actually done on the road or in that area to the right is under jurisdiction, and it should be permitted by the city of Woburn. I'm not sure if somebody made a request for a permit, if it's such a sensitive area, if it would get permitted or not. But that was one of the major concerns that I saw as I read through this, because of that resource area that's right there alongside of the road going in. So, any comments or questions from the commission?
Yeah, just to guess, kind of along those lines, in terms of parking in the parking area, or parking along the road, it's not the garden coordinator's job to police, people parking along the road there. I don't know that there's no, well, there are no parking signs down by the gardens where gardeners do park. I'm not sure why that goes on, but there are no parking signs along the road there where it does get pretty narrow at times.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's a police issue, whether people, if they feel like they can't get through there, should call the police, but it's definitely not the garden coordinator's job to deal with that issue.
Well, I had a thought this afternoon while I was thinking about all of this, especially the road and the parking. And I know we have a waiting list, and I know that some of the plots have been cut in half to try to increase the number, but maybe if we took some of the gardening land and made parking spots, that might help relieve some of the problem. But again, with a waiting list, and that just, it's like double jeopardy, it just adds to the problem. Any thoughts? on any of the issues that were brought up that we read.
Well, there was several others. As far as stealing of vegetables, again, that's not the garden coordinator's duty to police that problem. There was something about, when I was the coordinator for a few years, probably 8 or 10 years, the first couple of years we didn't have leaves. Then we were able to get leaves for the gardeners to use to keep the weeds down. And then 2 years ago, probably, just as I was leaving, or 3 years ago, we didn't get the leaves from the cemetery as we had been getting for 5 or 6 or 7 years. I don't know what happened there. It was a good source of material because we knew exactly what we were getting. We were getting leaves. We knew who was bringing it. Unfortunately, and again, it may have changed again this year. That I know that Samantha has reached out to the cemetery department and was told that there's a possibility that there could be leaves dropped off. I know it hasn't happened yet, so I'm not exactly sure where that's at. But I don't think it was their issue. They did the best they could, or she did the best she could to try to get leaves. I know that there's been some drops of wood chips. Again, I don't know where those wood chips came from. They seem to be fairly clean. They seem to do a pretty good job, but and I don't even know who coordinated that. I think in reading that it wasn't the coordinator that actually got the chips there. It was one of the gardeners. Probably something that shouldn't be happening. The coordinator should be, basically setting up everything. And if somebody wants to help them, who's a gardener, I mean, I would think that the coordinator might not have any issue with that. As far as a coordinator needing to be or should be a gardener, I did it for, like I said, 8 years, wasn't a gardener. I know Mike Beninati prior to me. I know when he first started, he was probably a gardener, but the last 2 or 3 years, I know he wasn't gardening. I don't think that's something that, that needs to be. You don't need to be a gardener to be. I mean, it's probably helpful, but I mean, gardening is quite a job. I mean, you spend a lot of time down there. I didn't have any time to be a gardener, really, to be honest with you. I was working. I was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I had zero time to be a gardener. So I don't think that's a priority, in my opinion, for the coordinator to be a gardener.
I would say that you need somebody that's willing to put in the time to do that job, which is time-consuming in itself. You've been there and done that. So, I mean, and we had a person step up and get, put into that position, which I was thankful for that, because I know you were pretty tasked towards your end of the tenure for that. And so I am hoping that she does, maybe some of the concerns here of, maybe not responding quick enough and things like that, should be put through, us in a letter or having another conversation at a meeting with her or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for her being there and being able to, have a little, effort to put into it, so.
Yep.
One of the other issues that I said I would bring up, and it's on the last page of her report at the top, it says, another big issue that arose drastically this season was that my husband and I were contacted on our personal phones, personal emails, and social media accounts numerous times for garden-related matters. I would ask those gardeners that are doing that not to do that and go through the Woburn Community Garden at gmail.com. they don't need their personal devices being used for that matter. That's why we have this particular address set up, so any gardeners, again, that's woburncommunitygarden@gmail.com. That's all I have for right now. Any other commissioners have any comments? Or
Mr. Chairman, I just want to just echo one comment to your point. So General Rule 14, number 14, specifies what you just said about emailing concerns to woburncommunitygardens@gmail.com, or to notify the Conservation Commission office at 781-897-5933. That's General Rule 14. So that's the proper communication channel.
yeah, they don't deserve having their personal devices being used for that reason. I think that, again, many of these matters can be taken care of through the upcoming 2006 rules
26?
and regulations. I know the trend is, if you see a gardener doing something wrong, there should be something done about it, but if you see something, say something. I know that doesn't always work, and it's a tight fit down there, and sometimes tensions get a little high, but we all have to try to make it work. And if there's 100 gardeners, there's 100 different ideas. There's 100 different opinions. There's 100 different ways of doing things. And you certainly can't meet everybody's needs all of the time. And as I stated at the beginning, I think Samantha is doing a terrific job. The report that she printed out and gave to us, I thought was done very, very well. And hopefully they continue to work in the right direction to keep the gardens going.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to, I'll just comment this way. So, I read through all 21 issues, and what I did with all 21 was that I assigned it a category, just to affinitize it, to see if it could make some sense. And it really does. And I affinitized it this way. I looked at the issues, and the top 4, they all had 3 that were assigned to each one. Is plot assignment, parking, access road maintenance, and weed control. You can boil it down any way you want. 5th one is rule enforcement. That had 2. My feeling is, I don't know how, historically, how these categories have all shown up. Have we always had a plot assignment issue? Have we always had parking issues? Have we always had access road issues? And I don't know the answer to that, all right? So the commission does, the coordinators do, the gardeners certainly do. But I think that there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had. We can take the 2026 rules, we can boil down what we have. I have 3 different set of rules right now that I'm sitting in front of me. I have the conservation use regulations, right, to the municipal code ordinance. I have that. I have the garden rules, and I have another set of garden rules. Somewhere in there has to be one set of rules. My feeling on enforcement is that the rules should all be enforced. And they're really, you try to get wiggle room and all this, but really feel as though you put the rules in place and then you hold everybody to those rules. And I think that's what we need to do in the next step. Again, this is just me communicating out my thought on this.
I think your point is well taken.
But I do think that there's a broader conversation that needs to be had with the coordinator, the commissioner, the gardeners, and the city about the garden. What is the long-term view of what the community garden is going to be? What do we want it to be? And then how do we identify, or how do we put action around these different categories so we have a sustainable approach going forward, and we're not always trying to Band-Aid everything? That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Well taken.
Mr.
If I
Chairman,
Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I just wanted to go back on the issue with the leaves from the cemetery. It sounds like it's possible that they might still be bringing them from the cemetery. Is that what you understood or heard?
That was the last I heard about it, that there was some
I'm curious.
contact. and-
I'm not sure. Is the gardens currently has been closed, or is it still technically open? It's still open. Is that till the end of November? I apologize for not knowing the time frame.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be probably the second week in October it was closed.
That's what I thought. I thought it used to be.
Yeah, the water gets shut off.
Well, I guess my concern would be for the gardeners is if the leaves do come, do they have access, easy enough access to, I know you can always get in there, but to be able to park down there, and will the gates be closed? When will they be closed?
Well, you know-
So then they should know that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if the leaves do show up, that the gardeners will know. But one of the other problems was we were trying to limit, or I was trying to limit the amount of people that parked down there that weren't gardeners. So,
That would be good, but then that, like you said,
Well,
not being the coordinators,
well, my
you have to
request,
have a police presence.
right, well, my request was pretty simple, and it was to, when you go into the gardens, the gate's going to be locked, or not locked, but closed. Open the gate, close it behind you. So that would deter some people that weren't gardeners, that didn't know that that was the situation, from going down there. That didn't last very long.
No, okay. That's it.
It was a matter of days before
It's too, I'm curious if,
trying to eliminate that problem, or make it be a little less of a problem.
so,
Was not, the rules were not followed there. And I
Assume-
wasn't, there's no way to supervise that. I mean,
right, of course.
the only time I saw it was when I went down there to go for a walk or something, or I went down to check on things. The gate was always open. So,
Wonder if there could be some, no, I guess that wouldn't probably go over well, some type of sign that says, walkers consider parking over the other side of the pond at the large parking lot that we have there,
I don't,
And Arlington Road, and there's plenty of parking. It's just a shame that because it's a nice starting point, I guess, but, I mean.
Well, I think if the gate was closed, a walker
Yeah.
wouldn't open it, I would hope.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But at that point, it's tough backing out. It is a tough area to navigate for sure, but, so I'm just curious about that aspect. The parking definitely, limited for the gardeners and, but,
I would think that might need to be something in the ordinance or something.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can
it's
say
not
that.
much, we don't have, we can't
Right.
do anything about it, but that, it's a broader problem.
Yep.
Gary, not knowing the procedure, when the cemetery comes and drops off the leaves, do they drop off the leaves in just one spot, and then the gardeners go and collect them and use them for their own?
Yes.
Just a thought, and we would want it to be a Woburn landscaper, but do you think we could reach out to a Woburn landscaper to drop off leaves? Because they start fairly early, and probably late October, mid-October, leaves could,
I think the problem with
That,
that is what goes into, like, they're not just
Yeah,
picking up leaves.
Exactly, that could get a little messy.
And that was an issue I think we talked about. We had the city, DPW reached out to me asking if we wanted grass clippings in some of the, and it was a no-go because of chemicals.
Yeah, right.
Just
It's a good, it's a good, I mean, it was, prior to that, having the cemetery leaves, it was a great solution,
And what was the issue this year?
Well, there's a private contractor now that picks them up over
Oh.
there. And apparently they didn't want to bring them down to the gardens, I guess.
Curious, that's interesting. But they were probably asked or told that they could?
Yes, they were, I think they were told that they could, but they just didn't want to. So,
It didn't say here, but I'm just looking at the map, so the plots to the left are the no-till,
they're all no-till now.
they're all no-till.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I'm just thinking, there's always gonna be problems. We've always had parking and road issues, and we're actually lucky to have a road in there, if you think about it, because it's so close to everything. But is there a way, I mean, does it make sense to eliminate some of the plots to add parking? That's the only way, I don't know how else you're gonna solve it.
Yep.
Because you're always gonna have parking issues
Well,
there.
that's what I had said, if we took some plots away and made some parking spots, but again, that's gonna create a longer wait list because you have now less plots to deal out and.
Well, going through this, it looks like
Yeah.
there's abandoned lots, there's people with 4 or 5 plots, so I don't know, maybe we eliminate more. If it's a longer list, it's a longer list, but maybe the people that care more about the plots are gonna be at the top of the list and they'll stay around longer.
Yeah, I was going to bring up, one of the concerns through one of the gardeners was about the quantity of some people, because it was supposed to be limited to one plot, and then they did it to go to 2 if it was available. But someone stated that there are some with 4 or 5 plots, people, like in kind of tag teaming with someone else that don't use them, and that's, doesn't seem, fair, but, I mean,
Some of the reasons why that happens is because the people that initially sign up to take a garden at the beginning of the year don't end up showing up.
okay,
So now what do? You want to get that plot filled as soon as possible. People, I guess, contact the coordinator and say, look, this plot's
so they were
vacant.
probably taken properly, okay?
Yeah. Some end up being abandoned for the whole, pretty much the whole season, unfortunately. I'm not, and I trust that the coordinator is reaching out to these people and there's always, there's a lot of reasons why. We had this go on, we had that go on. We'll be down there, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks goes by, nobody shows up. So, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, there's 4 or 5 plots that don't get gardened in.
Be interested to see how many maybe this year and the past year, and obviously you can't project next year, how many plots were empty, and I kind of like the suggestion Commissioner Meany said about potentially putting some parking.
That's the only way that there's going to be any additional parking down there, is to take a couple of the plots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I know it's probably not, good logistics, the location. The old tree farm that was started many, many, many years ago, I'm sure that, I know last time I went by there, the trees are pretty well rooted and big.
Oh, yeah.
It's not an area that, and actually, that's kind of close to a little stream back there, I believe.
Yep.
So that probably wouldn't be a good parking area.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Try to grab what you can get down there.
I have a question about parking, because I think it's a 2-part problem. There's probably a parking issue for the gardeners themselves, but I'm pretty sure there's a parking issue with people who are not gardeners. I think that there's probably plenty of people who aren't even Woburn residents that are parking along that access road, jamming that whole thing up, and I'm sure of it. So I haven't done my own traffic study, but maybe I have to do that. But anything that we do with parking, I think we need to think it through very carefully and think it through from a point of, okay, so we're going to put more parking in. But what happens when someone's parking where they're not supposed to be parking? We have non-gardeners parking in the garden or parking area. Where's the enforcement behind it? Because that's the thing that everybody knows, that there's no enforcement of any of that. So when there's no enforcement and the word on the street is, oh yeah, we can park there, nobody says anything, well, that's what happens. And that's what you're gonna get. So the more you put in, the more you're gonna wind up, the more you're gonna have that. Or, let's put it this way, anticipate that you'll have more of that, okay? So once again, I think on all these items, we have to really think them through very carefully. There almost should be a process for every one of them. How do we assign plots? And that includes, what do you do when they get abandoned? How long do we give people before they're abandoned? Then what do we do and how do we reassign? All of that needs to be hashed out, if it's not already.
Well, if I could, Mr. Chairman, I'd just make a couple of comments based on everything we've heard, and I'm hoping it's helpful. And some of this is just generally trying to put perspective on this. I first want to make a statement right out of the gate. We care about the gardens, period, end of story. We care. Why do I say that? I say that because this gentleman to my right was the volunteer of the gardens for many, many years, and we evaluated it, and he put a lot of effort into successfully getting the stipend to have it be a position, because it's overwhelming for volunteer. He's a Conservation Commission member. He's not a guy. He did that out of volunteering his personal time and it became so overwhelming and so large, he said, we need a stipend. And he was successful, and we got a stipend, and that is a check mark to a plus. The porta potty came, and it was recognized in the notes here. That was a plus. The efforts that it takes to put this stuff together is a lot. And by the way, we clearly do have issues. And I want to say, when it's documented, I feel a lot, I don't feel better that there's problems. I feel better that it's documented so that we know what we're dealing with it. You've taken the time, Commissioner Joyce, to categorize it and break it down into everything. And I just want to at least give an update that people may or may not be aware of. The current coordinator right now has a preliminary package that's continuing to evolve. It is in front of Jay Duran, the DPW. And what are the items on the preliminary package? Signage, more parking spots, fixing the roadway. And in recent discussions I had regarding that preliminary package with Mr. Duran, he advised me that the proper way to do it is what you suggested, Commissioner Joyce, and that's this. Engineering drawings have to be done by the city engineering so they know exactly where the signs are. The approval on the words of the signs, I believe, is part of what you're talking about, is we're going to say that there's permit-only towing for violators. Are those the words that are going to go on there? That has to be decided. So it's where are the signs going to go? What are the words going to be on the signs? Let's think it through, location, what makes sense, so it's visible. Are there additional parking spots available? And I'll tell you right now, there's a preliminary proposal. It's in pencil, it's not in ink. The engineer hasn't gone through, it hasn't been approved or anything like that. But I am telling you with confidence that the DPW has a preliminary wish list, conversation list in front of him where there is consideration, regardless of taking the plots that we're talking about, of where there's some potential parking spots to pick up 4 or 5. So a lot of effort goes on in the background, and I think the biggest thing at the beginning here is communication. When you're talking about communication and all that, if people aren't aware of that, they should be aware of that. That this has been going on, by the way, for over a year. This preliminary package that has been reviewed by DPW Commissioner Duran, that's still in process, is going to take what you suggested, Commissioner Joyce, is getting everyone together and saying, here's the signed verbiage, here's where they're going to go, here we can put in extra parking spots, here's where everything's located, here's the plot plan. And when that package is all cooked, then it becomes a plan, then it becomes a project, and then it gets approved. So these things have to be done. We know that that road is a problem. It puddles up. A couple of years ago, they were going to cancel an Irish-American roadway because the puddles were too big and they couldn't even use the path and all that. We know it's a problem. Commissioner Lonis knows what the issues are. and it's hard to get through, but I think we are focused on getting it through. I think we have proven with that commitment, with the stipend, with the porta potty, with the preliminary package. And by the way, I was down there recently, for the past month. I've been down there many times in the past month. Now we've got reserved parking where there used to be no parking signs up. So I think aggressive, I just want to give a sense that people are listening. We hear you. We do care about the gardens. This does matter to us, and our goal is to have it be first class. We want a first-class garden. We want it done the right way, and I think it's important just to say that. I think that's the what we have in the current Ms. Langone. That is her commitment to do it. That is what she has been trying to do, and I think that there is things going on in the background that people may not be aware of.
And
Thank you.
Just to add to it, I think these meetings are good, and I think these, just to note out some of the problems that are down there are good, because when it comes down to communication.
Yes.
And that's really the fundamental thing, is we need to have communication. What are the issues? Communicate them, and then we address them. Just from Samantha here, it looks like just explaining why there weren't any leaves. It looks like she understands that. It was when it transferred from the cemetery to a subcontractor, but she's working on that. So next year we'll have leaves. And then going forward, with the list we have, now we can go through these and address them one at a time. So next year when we have the meeting, instead of 21 issues, we might have 15. So who knows, but it'll be progress. So we'll try to get it down there. But like Commissioner Malone said, we do want it to be, first class down there, and everybody enjoy it without having to deal with some of the issues that are listed here. So I think this is a positive step in the right direction.
I'll make note, I did not see in any of the reports, and I thank Commissioner Malone for taking the reins on this, but we have one resident that has encroached onto garden property, and that is about 99% resolved. That was Mr. Malone's doing, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I think it was the doing of everyone here, because everybody cared about that. We did listen, and Ms. Langone was insisting from the time she got the job. If you do anything, you've got it. We know it's the parking and the signs and all that. We get all that, and it's all the other issues that are here. But that has to be taken care of. So we have been on a full court press, believe it or not, for a couple of years now. We are at the finish line. We're almost in, and it's almost over with. If you can see, the boats are off, trucks are back, things are going in the right direction. We're not there, but we're determined to see it through to the end, so it's over, so that there will not be any more encroachment down there. And it's been a lot of time and a lot of hours by everybody here to get it done. It's not easy, but we don't give up. We don't give up on it, because I'll go back to my original comment. We care about the gardens. We want to get it right, so. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody else, any last comments or questions?
One last comment from me is just appreciate, you got a letter with some concerns from various gardeners, and that's helpful, so it helps us be more aware and get this conversation stronger and further to other town officials that need to, city officials that will need to be involved. So I thank the gardeners for being as concerned as they are and dedicated as you are. It's a lot of time down there. I have a cousin that goes down there and spends a lot of time.
I would also say thank you for coming and listening, and we're going to try to move forward, try to get these things resolved. And again, please, if you do need to get in touch with the coordinator, please go through that proper channel. It's kind of disheartening to see that they have to inform us that people are using social media and their personal phone numbers and personal emails. So again, thank you all for coming. We're going to move on to the next thing on the agenda. I hope this was informative to you. If you have any other requests, again, please put it in writing, submit it to the office, and the commission will certainly take a look at it as we did this one, and we'll continue to move forward. So again, thank you for coming. All right, moving on. We have request for permission to allow tree removal at 75 Central Street. There was a site walk, and I think people were in agreement that that was okay to come down, if I am not mistaken.
Well, this is a different location.
Oh,
While we were out there looking at a couple other properties, it was brought to our attention that these particular trees that we're now dealing with this evening was just a wondering at that time whether the commission thought that, it would be possible to have these trees removed. I guess probably at the time we said, you just have to, file again, with the tree removal request. And so Jim and I went out there the other day, last week, and checked them out again. And we're like, so there's three of them that are, within 5 feet of the house that are tall and, towering over the house. I mean, they're definitely hazards. And then there's one other one that was in pretty bad shape. It's got a large cavity in the middle of it, and probably not going to survive much longer. And it's probably another one of those safety hazards as well. So, Jim, I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't have any issue with the trees.
No, so I had no issue with the trees. As a matter of fact, I just want to add, I didn't think the trees, especially the three that were around the house, I didn't think they were in very good shape. If they were beautiful, pines, really lush, they looked really good, that would be, maybe I'd have a different opinion, but they weren't. And in close proximity to where the house is and how the root pattern is going, I worry about the house. So I don't have an issue with those three trees. The one that had the large cavity in it, yeah, that one looks like it's on the way out pretty quick. So I didn't have an issue with that one either.
so would it be your recommendation that we allow the,
Would be my recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I will move
To the movement, can I ask a question, please? I'm going to be a pain in the neck for a second. It's not, I won't hold it up. I just want to ask a question. I ask this question all the time. I just want to be consistent. Are these trees, oh, see, you knew the answer. See, you didn't even have to ask the question, so that's good. So the answer's no, so I think that we probably should ask him to do that before it goes out. But anyways, other than the not being marked, are you sure, let me ask it a different way, Commissioner Lonis. Are you assured that the resident knows exactly which trees?
Yes, I am.
You think the people that are taking it down know what the three trees are?
I do, yes. I will speak with him, I guess. I can give him a call tomorrow, and maybe I'll ask him to put some ribbons around those trees,
So
so that there's no confusion.
was it
Kidding
three
aside,
total?
when you go to the doctors, they mark it left arm, right arm, all that kind of stuff. It's just a standard thing. So thank you, Commissioner Lewis. I appreciate it.
Was it 3 trees total or 4?
It's 4.
Okay, that's right, I'm looking at the 4 dots.
That's the other reason, Commissioner Tancredi, that I always ask. I always want to know where's the ribbon and what's the count?
Yep.
Getting
He
ribbons
actually,
and it's 4.
he actually has them plotted on a plan there, too.
I saw, that's what I was looking at, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
I thought I heard somebody say 3, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll move that we allow the removal of the trees requested.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We also have a request for tree removal at 9 Third Road in Woburn, and I believe that's in front of the house. I have not seen it. Has anybody been out to that one?
Is that in here, Teresa?
Yeah, that request actually just came in today, so I don't think anybody's been able to get out there, but there is photos with the request. as best I could tell from looking at it, looks like the tree is in front of the house. Looks like it's maybe about 90 feet from the wetland. On the back, he sort of has a map and distances and whatnot. I think the sort of light blue with the little, whatever you call it, they're like little wetland symbol in there. That is like the wetland, and if I'm looking at that right, then it looks like it's about 90 feet away. So I don't know if the commission is comfortable with approving it just based on what was submitted. It's just one tree, it's out in front. Or if the commission wants to do a site visit. I do think that the property owner should be advised maybe to check in with Public Works just to make sure. I don't know if it's a public shade tree, so they may need approval that way as well.
Yeah, just by looking at the tree, I wouldn't want that tree overhanging my house.
Yeah,
I know.
that,
I'm
it's,
saying,
it's
I'm looking at the pictures and I'm okay with it.
very top-heavy, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was removed below,
Yeah.
it looks like.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we allow for the requested removal at 9 Third Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
No, that,
Beautiful. Moving on. We have the minutes of October 23rd, 2025. And I don't think...
I did not.
Any discussion?
Chairman, I move to accept the meeting minutes as drafted.
Second?
All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing how Third Road we just agreed to, we just took care of New Boston, so I don't have any suggestion for any site visits. Does anybody else?
Nope. Okay.
And last but not least, we have encroachment updates, and Mr. Malone, you have the floor.
Thank you. So we'll go one at a time here. On the matter of Robertson Way, I'd like to recognize Solicitor Salvati for his attention to detail. The letter is put together, it's direct, it's with the homeowner. They have 30 days to give us the planting plan that they had committed to do a while ago. The date of this letter is October 28th. We'll check at the end of November, assure that we have the professional plan of the intent to put in the plantings along the property line, and then that will be the verify. And after that, the next step is that the approximate date of the planting will be completed before April 30th, 2026. So that'll be the second thing for us to verify that it actually happened. So we have a letter, we have the details, we have the deadlines, and I think that situation's in hand. And once again, thank you for the attention to detail. The letter was very well written. I appreciate it.
As I, Mr. Scotty, I would also thank you for all of your cooperation. It's nice to get these two violations moving forward and try to get them off the table. So thank you very much.
Okay, on the matter of 82 Lexington Street, we'll split it into two pieces. The first thing, Commissioner Meany just handed around kind of an overall plan or a notes or documentation, if you will. For the first thing I'd like to do is get out of the way is let's decide on the words on the sign, to get a vote on the words of the sign. And I think the easiest way to facilitate that is to go to the wording that is in bold. And it's in bold where it says signs proposed, how many in wording. So the proposed words based on conversations with Solicitor Salvati, with Teresa, that I've come up with, and again, it's for our voting, it's for discussion, is City of Woburn property line, no unauthorized yard waste or snow disposal, protected land.
I love it.
I'll take all of the credit, none of the blame, but obviously I had input from other people, and I think it's right to the point. So if everybody loves it, I'd just like to make a motion to approve that wording for the sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
To the second item, I believe that Gardener Coordinator Langone has sent an email to Solicitor Salvati today and to Teresa, giving her an update on this week. We did go out there and we took with Mr. Joyce and Anthony Langone, we took a kite string, we tied it from one stake at one end to the other stake at the other end. We tied it across so we could see a straight line. Our goal was just to put an approximation of where the 4 granite posts might go. That's all we wanted to do. Just go in, put in the 4, and then be done with it. Because we did Solicitor Salvati notified the homeowner, the resident, that they were coming. It was good. He came out so we could have a conversation, and a couple of things came up. The first thing that came up is that along the driveway, he has a fence that runs down, and our stake in the end of the fence post, there's probably a couple of feet difference. So for some reason, when they surveyed, it seemed like it was chopping a couple of feet off of what was his original property line, and he said when his original fence was put in, that was the property line. So we have a difference of where the property line is, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? There's a difference. His fence is here, our property stake goes here, so we have to figure out the couple of feet. We'll figure it out. To the second point, on the matter of trees, they were suggestion of trees. The trees ended up not being available, so it ends up to be moot. But he was happy because he didn't want the trees to begin with, so that was good. So it's a moot point. So the trees are off the table due to non-availability. However, on the matter of granite posts, he's not in favor of the granite posts for 2 reasons. Number one is he's looking still for the buff area on the backing up of the trucks, that his trucks would go into when he's backing the trucks around, he would hit the posts and all that. And we obviously picked granite posts on purpose, so it would be a deterrent for trucks to go back there and have it be more clear. So it just says we don't have a meeting of the minds on the line, on the buffer zone. And the second thing was his plows for dropping the snow. There's still not a full understanding about the snow disposal. The feeling was that his snow plows had to have the ability to drop the snow over there and not have the plows go into the granite post that would be out of the ground and damage his poles.
Are we talking city plows, or is this a private?
His own plow. When he plows his own driveway.
Oh,
When he's
okay.
doing the plowing.
It's just
back.
the driveway, because that roadway gets, I'm assuming, plowed by the city.
Yeah. It's just a driveway. Right. So again, the point on the matter is the snow disposals. There isn't a meeting of the minds, unfortunately, on the matter of A, snow disposal, and on B, and the granite posts. So we're on hold right now until we figure out a mitigation plan. So that's where we are.
We're gonna discuss it now, or you want opinions? He backs into it and breaks it, he owns it, so I would say he replaces it. That's what I would say.
Now, the post,
We've been more than fair about it, we've actually been pretty good about it. He's gotta at least meet us somewhere in the middle. We're not putting a fence up, we're putting up granite posts, 4 of them, to delineate property, that it's city property. I think the least he could do is look in the rearview mirror if he gets close to one. Maybe make an effort not to hit one.
Don't most of the trucks have those beepers?
They have beeps, but they should. But I'm just saying, I mean, we're not putting a fence up, we're putting up posts.
What is our consequence
Just me.
and liability if he starts knocking them down?
Let's
I
put it
don't think
right,
they'll
put it in
get
writing, he's
knocked down.
liable.
I just think they might do damage to the automobile.
No,
they could get
No?
knocked down.
the trucks will
Oil truck?
probably break them in half, the posts, yeah, more than likely. I don't know if it's, to me, I don't know if, I might be wrong, but if something's on our property and somebody damages it, wouldn't the person that damages it be liable?
And it's not right on the property line, we're about a foot back, correct?
The other 12 inches, we did 8 to 12 as recommended. 8 would have been allowable, but we all decided, let's just call it 12 inches, right? The difference between 8 and 12, go 12, be back a little bit, but 12 inches. So it's 12 inches off the property line, to answer your question.
I think the fact that we didn't put a fence up was
Good. Yeah.
kind of bending.
I agree.
A little backwards,
That was a
you know?
concession.
Yeah. You know, because, you know, now he just has to not hit 4 granite posts versus a
Yeah, the whole
be plenty of
fence.
space in between each one of them to back a truck up.
There won't be space in between. The granite posts, so if he pulls his truck back, he won't have the room.
No, I know, not to get in there, yeah, but I mean, I'm saying that the posts are gonna be, you know, every, what, 20 feet or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, we agree.
See, we're putting the post in, correct? We're gonna do it?
We're the subcontractor, that's correct.
Or not, we're paying for it?
We're paying for it, that's correct.
And I think you put it in writing, if there's damage, he's liable. To replace. Hey, you heard it from the boss.
I was waiting, I was waiting for the, oh, please. Actually, I would like that, thank you.
My opinion would be that, you wouldn't, you would have to notify him that if he damages him, he has to replace him, because that's the law.
Yeah,
I think it would be a good thing, right on the level that he doesn't right there, 1 foot in, there's no reason he should hit them, there's no reason he should plow beyond them, there's no reason he should park anything on the other side.
What about, like, how do you, it's pretty well, I guess it's pretty obvious whose property, you know, it would, if he said, I don't know who did it, I didn't do it, but it's on his property, right, so he's responsible for that?
But it,
Yeah,
but it,
seems to be.
but it won't be on his property, it would be.
Yeah, but there's like,
going on your
you couldn't drive down and hit it.
Okay, yeah.
I
Get
think
that.
it's important to tell him that he's using 1 foot of the land with permission.
Right.
If you had a hard, if you wanted to, you could go further. I would look at it, it is pretty tight to his garage, I believe.
yeah.
Only 24 inches, I don't think it's perfect. That's up to the commission.
I would,
don't blame you for
I'd be okay with that.
put it on the lot, you know, you could give him 24 inches, okay. And then tell him that 2 feet is yours, and yours forever, and, you know, he shouldn't be using it, but he should. But I think
We-
it's close.
You think that you would actually say that it would be his, that 2 feet?
Well, the problem is adverse possession, right? You want to take away that ability for him to claim anything as adverse possession. If it's with permission, he can't make that claim.
Oh,
So
okay.
you write a letter saying,
Okay.
you have to write a letter every 20 years. This is with permission.
I didn't think adverse possession applied to city property. Is that,
So there's been a couple of cases where it's been allowed, so you got to be a little careful.
but I also think the commission, I did send you something, I don't know if you saw it.
I did see it, yeah, I didn't really look at it too
Okay.
deeply, but yeah, I'd agree that it looks like it was probably, I had a question for her about, for Teresa about ownership, because the only deed I found was a takings deed by the city and no turnover of control to conservation, but under the,
It appears
Self-help,
that, yeah, it appears that it was purchased under self-help, actually self-help number 1.
purchased or given, really, right? We
I
didn't, we didn't pay, did we?
I should say acquired.
Acquired, yeah.
Yep, acquired under self-help
Yeah.
number 1. So that means that the state also, there was money that came through the state. So that does protect it in a different way than if the city just acquired it separately. So I don't know that the city, and I'm not an attorney, so my legal opinion is worth what you're going to
We're
pay
not,
me
we're
for
not
it.
giving him an easement.
But
or
I don't
anything.
think that legally it's possible to do that. And if it is possible, it would have to go through, the commission,
of
city
council.
council, the mayor, and the
Yes.
legislature, and the EOEEA.
No, I'm not suggesting an easement or a license or anything, giving him the legal right to use that property. All I'm suggesting as a good neighbor is to try to give him a little room to live the life that he's lived for 30 years, because he is, in his mind, losing 30 feet or so, right? So, if it's gonna be a foot, why not 2 feet? That's my That's my suggestion. I don't think it hurts anything.
To take away
What,
the possibility of replacing granite.
Right, and then he should play the ball a little bit better, I would think. Yeah.
What difference is 1 foot gonna make for him? You know what I mean?
I think on the garage end, Steve,
right
might
up to the
back
corner.
me up on this. I mean, it's pretty tight to his garage. and Just to be able to get around and paint the side of his garage.
Oh,
The GIS it's almost right to the corner.
Okay.
Right, yeah, it's close.
I thought for some reason that giving up another foot would allow him to park a vehicle.
No, not for parking or turning. It's just to me, that on that end of the
Yeah.
lot, he can barely get out of the side of his garage.
So, I mean, if we put the posts up and don't say anything, it's just, this is where the posts are. and-
Yeah, I don't think you don't have to come out and say it, but I mean, if you're worried about that land being used, certainly when he goes to sell, you want them aware of the lot line.
Right.
So if he's on notice that it's 18 inches, whatever number of inches off the lot line, then everybody knows where the
Right.
lot line.
What's to stop anybody from claiming adverse possession tomorrow?
Nothing, nobody. Anybody can file it, right? You can,
And
but, you have to prove it. You have to prove that you used it 20 years in a row. You have to prove that it was it was adverse, against permission.
right.
Open, notorious, there's like 5 things. You know those from law
sure
school,
they-
Pauline? Huh?
Oh,
Open and notorious,
Continuous,
continuous,
exclusive, actual, and hostile,
and hostile, meaning without permission.
without permission.
That's from law school.
I have a part of my backyard is claimed
Yeah,
by adverse possession. Wasn't cheap, but I now have it.
yeah. It
But,
works.
And again, I thought I thought that you couldn't claim against the city, but you said there's been
There are some areas that it works. I don't know if this is one of them. I haven't really looked at it, but
yeah,
I would still put him on notice so that the next guy knows where the lot line is,
right.
right?
So I hear, just real quick, first of all, again, thank you once again. This has been a lot, it's been a long haul, so I appreciate all your efforts on this. Now, I'm okay with 20, if the commission's okay with 24 inches and being reasonable, I certainly wouldn't have any problem with 24 inches. I just want to see this thing resolved. The only concern I have out of any of this right now is, I might be wrong, and Mr. Joyce, please correct me if I'm wrong. My impression was, he still has it in his mind that he's trying to use the buffer zone, right? And when we put the pole up like this, he knows he's gonna knock it with his truck. If he goes back, he's gonna hit it with the truck, right? That's what he's got in his mind. So that's the one, and we've already talked about it, right? We don't have to talk about it again. We're gonna go with the granite post, we're gonna go 24 inches back and all that. So that's what we're gonna end up doing, right? What about the conversation about the snow disposal going off? Because that's a
Oh,
whole
he has to be
other-
told that he can't do it. I mean, that's a danger to the crop, to everything, right back there? I mean, there's dirt in that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, he has to be told he can't store snow beyond the,
Is this a sign
yeah, what post gets the sign?
I was thinking, unless anyone else thinks different, I was thinking when those trucks come down the bottom of the driveway, it's the first post, because that's the first visibility. We were talking about the garage and everything, that's over there, that's kind of out of the way.
Yeah, I would say
It's the
that
thing where
first
you
post.
and then you'll see it right away. So Pauline, when they're coming down the driveway to go in, they're gonna see it. And even if they go to the left or go to the garage, they're gonna see that sign.
Plenty of room on the property to store
Yes,
snow.
I would agree with that. And like Kevin said, he's got to meet you a little bit.
Yeah, he's got kind of, yeah, I'm just looking at it here, he's got plenty of room, even to turn around trucks is.
Yeah. Doesn't even snow anymore.
Good stuff.
Hey,
market? Don't jinx
don't
us.
jinx it.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good weekend. All right, does anybody have anything else to bring before the commission? Hearing none?
I'm in shock that went so well, so thank you, everybody. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Awesome.